fellow junkies? Horror Junkies 519, Kyle 13th coming at you again today, you guys, and thanks again for stopping by at Horror Junkies 509. We have been running wild this whole spooky season, you guys, and this is one place where you know it will never end no matter what time of year, month, day, it doesn't matter. Spooky season is always here, and it's always in my heart, and I keep my house like this all year round because, it never leaves me. And so I'm kind of stepping back from all the craziness I've been doing the last month, but you know what? I'm still going to be doing content for you guys as much as I humanly can. And so I wanted to come and kind of just step back a little bit. I'm going to do a horror haul. I haven't done one of these in about 8 months, and this is going to be horror haul number 44, you guys. So I've been, buying up movies as much as I can. I can't just be as crazy as I used to be. I used to do a horror haul once a month, and I would have a decent stack or a small stack, whatever the case may be, and I would do a video. But I just can't buy as many movies as I used to because, adulting. It is a thing. It's not something I like to do, but it's something I have to do. Like, I got to keep the mortgage. I got to pay the truck payment, all that stuff. And it's no fun, and you guys don't need to hear about it because I'm sure some of you guys have that in your own lives. But I'm going to be going over the movies that I bought the last few months. I'm going to do horror first, of course, and then I'm going to do non-horror afterwards. You guys don't have to feel obligated to stay after the horror. You guys can skip out, but, I do the non-horror just to see if we have anything else in common because, just because I do everything horror here, there's a little bit more to me, but, not too much, honestly. I'll be honest with you there. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, you guys. I am trying to get better at talking about that just because, we want to invite some more of our friends to come check out some of this fun content. And, because I enjoy it as well. I think it's, I'm always working to become the YouTuber I never saw. But always check out my TeePublic store if you guys want a hat, t-shirt, pillow, blanket. Actually, I don't do blankets, mugs, stuff like that. They got so many different stuff, and maybe now that I said blankets, maybe they'll do it. I don't know. But anyway, you guys, let's go ahead and get right into this, you guys. Some of these are new movies, some of these are upgrades, some of them I've watched, some of them I haven't. But anyway, all the non-horror is actually kind of funny because I'm just going to tell you now, I've been trying to catch up on my Sylvester Stallone Blu-ray collection because if you guys don't know, I'm a huge fan of Sylvester Stallone. If you guys haven't seen my Rocky Mask video, even though it's not horror, you guys should check it out. I love Rocky. I love Sylvester Stallone, my favorite actor. And so I make sure I have every one of his movies. But we'll wait till that ends. So let's go ahead and dig right in, you guys. Let's check out the movies and see what you guys like. Let me know what your guys' favorite movie I got on this horror haul and down in the comments. And maybe we can talk about it. Let's go ahead and dig right in because I think I have over 20 movies here. And yeah. Let's get her going. So first up, this was an upgrade. I had a bootleg copy of this, and I'm so glad that I think it came out the Vinegar Syndrome website, but it's a different company. Degazer Video. I butchered the crap out of that. So let's go ahead and just show you that little logo. That's the a partner label that works with Vinegar Syndrome, and they released this movie, and that is Blood Cult. This is actually a pretty fun college campus slasher. This is one of those first ones that were made on video and shot on video, and it's actually really good. I do really enjoy this movie. It was a good time to rewatch it. I don't think Angelina had ever seen it, and then it was a nice, fresh rewatch for me. Definitely recommend this one, Blood Cult. It actually has a sequel that's coming up later on in the video, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But it's kind of cultish, as you can see, and then slasherous. It does the whole thing. I don't think it doesn't have any different art, but yeah, Blood Cult. I check it out on the Vinegar Syndrome website, even though it is a partner label. Next up, this one I bought quite a while ago, and so it's beyond me of what this one was about, but I knew it was a new slasher movie that I haven't heard about. This was released by Severin. I'm sorry, you guys, my talking is not with me, but I'll get it worked out before the end of the video, but that's going to be Blood Moon. This is released by Severin, and I kind of found out that the killer is using like a barbed wire circle like there on the cover, and so as soon as I found that out, I definitely had to go ahead and check this out. Just needed to add another slasher to my list, you guys. I don't know if you guys have watched my the Slasher Decade episodes. I think I just did the 1982, and so next is going to be 1983, and I do have some gaps in those collections, mostly because they don't have releases just yet, but as they get releases, I'm going to be getting them. So some of these are going to those videos and to make sure I'm trying to fill those gaps as much as I can. So Blood Moon, I don't believe is on any of those lists, but, you know, I don't think this is an 80s one. I could be very wrong, but don't quote me on it. I've only seen it once, guys. It's been a long day, if I can just say that. I usually don't film when the sun's down, and it's down. All right, guys. Next up was another random slasher that I've never heard of. Definitely not in the 80s vein, but this is Edgar Allan Poe's Buried Alive. And so this is actually a pretty neat slasher. A little bit of a slow burn, but I think it was still worth the watch and enjoyable enough. You definitely have the killer on the cover there with that kind of like, I don't know, it's like an old man mask, and then, you know, got the butcher knife going on. As far as that, we got Ravenscroft Health Facility, visiting hours by appointment only. And so, relatively good slasher. I don't remember this being too extremely bloody, but honestly, I think it was definitely going to be worth the watch if you guys are curious. Sorry about the glare, you guys. I'm dealing with, you know, my circle light on my tripod here. Words is a real thing right now, but Buried Alive. I've heard so many movies called Buried Alive, stuff like that. It's just like all of them start kind of running together. This next one I believe I did get because I think it's on one of my lists for the slasher decade, but I don't quite remember. This one is In by 10, Dead by 12. It's called Curfew. And another one I've only just recently watched the first time, so I don't quite remember too much about it. I remember the old movie of it had curfew, and it had one of those pendulum blades swinging back and forth. And so I'm like, was this in the movie? I probably bought this almost 6 months ago, so I honestly do not remember about everything, you guys. But I'm definitely glad to add these to my collection. Even if it's a low budget, no good slasher, I will be happily ready to rewatch these again. And, you know, oh, here it is right there. This is the original cover right there with that pendulum blade swinging back and forth. So as soon as I saw that, I was pretty interested. This one is brought to you by Vinegar Syndrome, you guys. I don't know who your guys' favorite boutique label is, but Vinegar Syndrome is winning my heart and soul. 100%. Like, you know, I still love other boutique labels. Like, I've recently bought something from Arrow, Shout Factory. I haven't done Second Sight yet. I really bummed that I missed out on the Dawn of the Dead big old box. But, you know, and there's a lot of other ones, you guys, that I'm trying to keep up with, but they're just getting so many of them that I can barely do it. Like, I love Scorpion. I love Blue Underground. I love Code Red. I mean, it's really tough to keep up with all this stuff going on. All right, you guys, and so this next one is actually the first dud of this whole set. I don't know if you guys remember from one of my previous ones, I talked about the Homegrown Horrors Volume 2, and it's a box set that comes with 3 movies in it. Volume 2, I liked 2 out of the 3, which I didn't think was too bad. But I recently went and got Volume 1, and I didn't like any of these movies in any way, shape, or form. I just could not get into any of them. They were very drawn out, and boring, and just didn't do it for me. One of them was so low budget, I had no clue what was going on, and it was just no fun. To kind of go ahead and talk about the films, we have Beyond Dream's Door. And there's the cover to the disc right there, if you guys want to check that out. And then next up, we got Winter Beast, which was absolutely just ridiculous. And so it was so low budget, and I thought it was going to be a good time, and it just really wasn't. It just felt like it was a waste of time. And the next one was Fatal Exam, not Final Exam. So it's not Final Exam. This is Fatal Exam. And it took me 3 times to finish this movie, and I just couldn't do it. And I still don't know exactly what was going on, because I hate watching movies in different parts and pieces, so I just can't follow it. So I'll probably keep this, and I'll probably give him another chance at some point, but that's going to be some forgotten Sunday that might not never come. I don't know. But Volume 1 wasn't for me, but I don't know. There's still some charm to it, you know? It is what it is. Alright, guys, but we did get to redeem ourselves later on. So we did get Homegrown Horror Volume 3, and this one was actually a lot better. I believe I liked all 3 of these movies, and we'll go ahead and go through them real quick. I didn't get the box set for part 1 because I couldn't find it. I know there's a lot of people selling them, but I'd always miss my opportunity. But anyways, so the 3 movies in this one. First up is Revenge, and so this is the sequel to Blood Cult. I actually got this box set before I got Blood Cult, because this one came out first, which was interesting. But as soon as I remembered that this was the sequel to it, I went and got Blood Cult because I actually really did enjoy this one. So me and Angelina got to do a double feature one night of Blood Cult and then Revenge. It was a good night. Next up, we have Deadly Lover. Looks like we definitely have the motorbike slasher running around and killing innocent women. Are they innocent? Who knows? But definitely was a slasher I'd never heard of, and it was enjoyable for me. I did really enjoy it. All right, you guys, and this last one was the reason I really bought this box set, because it was another Halloween slasher-esque movie, and that is called Haunted Ween. This is a horror comedy, actually, and I was unaware that it was a horror comedy before I bought it. It didn't ruin the movie, but it did kind of put a little sting in it while I was watching it. I was like, man, I really just want this to be an outright slasher. But, the comedy was really old and not really funny. But, I still found it enjoyable. Will I watch it a bunch? But I'll watch it again. Probably, I kind of miss watching it this spooky season. But, I'll get another chance at it. I'm sure of that. And so that was Homegrown Horror Volume 3. I am excited to continue buying these. I know Volume 1 was a complete dud. Then we went to Volume 2. I liked 2 out of the 3. Pretty good. But I got Volume 3 and I liked all 3. So Volume 4, who knows? It's going to be a toss-up, I have a feeling. Alright, you guys. I don't know if you guys remember. Last year, we had a Christmas slasher come out. And that was It's a Wonderful Knife. It took the story of It's a Wonderful Life and made it into a slasher movie. I know I heard a lot of folks say they didn't really care for this movie, but I really did kind of enjoy it. I enjoyed the trying something new, like, taking the It's a Wonderful Life and turning it into a slasher. I'm okay with that. I absolutely love Christmas slashers, and I feel like this did a really good job. It has Justin Long in it, so anytime that Justin Long's in a horror movie, I'm usually in and down, and I feel like it was executed as good as it could have been. Could they have tightened it up and made it a little bloodier, gorier, more interesting, maybe not so much plot holes, but I think with the storyline of It's a Wonderful Life, there's going to be some plot holes. It is what it is. But I enjoyed it. I'll be ready to watch it when Christmas time comes around. All right, you guys. So next up, I already can feel the eyes and everyone like, why in the hell did you spend your money on this crap? And we'll get to it, okay? Not gonna lie to you guys, I'm kind of nervous about showing you guys this because I know I'm probably gonna get eaten up in the comments, but understand this is not a movie that I like. So I did end up going ahead and getting Jeepers Creepers Reborn. I know everyone's sitting there like, why in the crap did you buy that terrible, terrible movie? And why did you spend $28.99 on it? I did not. I actually got this movie for $1, and I have this movie in my collection because I'm a completist. If there is a sequel to a movie that I like, I have to have it, whether I watch it again or not. This potentially could stay sealed its entire life. I'm just going to be honest with you. I've seen this movie once. I don't feel any intention to ever watch it again. But you never know. There's just going to be that one day you're like, you know what? Maybe I'll give it another chance. And I'm sure I'm probably going to hate that then too, because it really wasn't an issue with the story so much. It was just all the green screen and like, it just felt like it was a Mortal Kombat movie and you're out in Outworld the entire time. And it was just really... We need to get this franchise back on the tracks, you guys. Part 3 I can deal with, but this was bad. And I really hate it because they're like, oh, no one cares about this character anymore. But I truly feel like we still love this character, but you guys, whoever's making these movies is doing terrible decisions, and it's just not the way this should be going. Jeepers Creepers needs the proper team to go out and do it. Like I don't have anything... I would love to see Adam Green, the guy who did Hatchet, make a Jeepers Creepers movie because he's a horror fan. I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. Did Hatchet kind of go weird and supernatural after a while? Like, yeah, but I don't hate any of those 4 movies. I would love to see Adam Green do something else. Of course, I would love another Hatchet movie, of course. But, I don't know, just throwing names out there. I would love to see Adam Green do a Jeepers Creepers movie, but it'll probably never happen, and that's fine. All right, you guys, so we are, like I said, I am trying to fill gaps of my horror collection for the 1980s. I'm trying to get all the horror slashers that I can, and if you guys ever feel like I don't have one or I've never mentioned it before, make sure you link it down let me know down in the comments because I'm not all-knowing, and I never will be, but, I had to go ahead and get The Lamp. This is also known as the The Outing. And so this was one of the movies I definitely needed in my collection. I forget what year this came out, but it's coming up on the slasher decade. I really thought a slasher movie with a magical lamp in the movie was going to be absolutely no good. But this movie actually had a good charm to it. I did really enjoy it. I don't feel like the lamp ruined the movie, kind of like I was expecting, but I still found enjoyment out of it. I was able to get through it. It wasn't like looking at my phone or anything like, is this over yet? It was silly, yeah, but it was still enjoyable. It had its charm. All right. I hate having to do this, but it has to be done because this one has come up. And this next one is absolute gutter trash. I have nothing good to say about this movie. I didn't enjoy it one iota. I will rewatch it again just to give myself another chance at it because I feel like I always have to give something 2 chances. But this one was not good. I was really excited when this came out because I thought this was going to be good. And I'm happy to have it in the collection because it fills the 1980s slasher gaps that I was missing. And that is The Last Slumber Party, you guys. This is one of those times where me and Angelina watched a movie together, and after the movie ended, I looked at Angelina and I apologized. Like, I am sorry that I had you watch that. Sometimes I wish these would come out and say, these will not be Angelina approved, Kyle, watch this by herself. Because I don't know, I feel guilty making someone watch a movie I haven't seen before, and it ends up just this trashy. And I just did not enjoy it. There was no redeeming value. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of this movie. Maybe I'm being too harsh on it. Yeah, it's low budget and stuff like that, but a slasher is a slasher. It should be a pretty easy concept to do. Obviously, people are going to say, why don't you try it? But I mean, it's like, I'd love to. You guys saddle me up with the right equipment and everything, the right people and stuff like that, and let's do it. I'll throw my ability into the ring and I'll give it a try. But I don't know. It's just sometimes I feel like it could have been a good movie, but they just tried to do too much or too little or something the case may be. But I feel like, something called The Last Slumber Party should have been almost like a complete ripoff of Slumber Party Massacre, and it would have been just fine. I don't know. My 2 cents. I digress. All right, you guys. Next up is an upgrade I've been wanting to get for a long time because this is one of my always movies. This is a movie me and Angelina watch every single year on a certain special day when we have our date night or whatever the case may be and we're eating dinner. And that is, I finally got the 4K version of My Bloody Valentine, you guys. This is one of my all-time favorite slashers. And so no matter how many times they re-release this movie, whenever they do 5K Blue 6 version, whatever the case the next version up is going to be, I don't think 4K is the last thing we're going to see, even though I feel like at some point we're going to just run the course on that, but it is what it is. But My Bloody Valentine is one of my absolute favorite movies of all time. Slashers, I would love to see a sequel to this movie. I understand, that might take away from the original, but the original is still going to be loved forever and always, but I don't know. Could this have a sequel? I know people are probably going to be like, don't do a sequel. How dare you? That's blasphemy. But I don't know. When I love something, I want more of it. It is what it is. And so, like I said, I digress a little bit more. Running out of... My mouth is drying out, you guys. All right, you guys, another upgrade. But I had to get this one. I don't have too many of movies from the Criterion collection because they're usually out of my price range fully. But I saw this one, it was on a good price, and it's a movie I absolutely love, and that is Night of the Living Dead, the original. I absolutely love this movie. I am a big fan of black and white movies as long as it can keep me entertained. Usually whenever I watch a black and white movie, I get worried because I don't think it's going to be able to keep my attention. But like this one, Psycho, usually pretty much all the Universal monster movies do really good. But, if I watch some randos, I'm usually I feel like I look at my phone too much. But Night of the Living Dead is an absolute classic. I absolutely love it. And I really cannot wait to see it on this Blu-ray edition. I have not gotten a chance to check it out yet. All right, you guys. Next up, I almost forgot that this movie even existed. I saw this in theaters and I did enjoy it. I've been hearing a lot of people like this movie better than the original, which is fine. I liked the original one just fine. But I went ahead and got The Nun 2 on 4K. I really enjoy the whole Conjuring universe, you guys. I really don't feel like there's a stinker in the bunch. Are there ones that aren't as good? Absolutely. But I don't think there's been a stinker just yet. I'm trying to remember if there has been one. I even like The Conjuring 3. I really enjoy that movie. And you guys, it's just my opinion. The Nun 2, I think it's a great movie, and I can't wait to watch this one again. Definitely should have watched this during spooky season, maybe. Oh well, spooky season's always in my heart. All right, next up, this is actually a, where is it at? A PG-rated horror movie, but this is actually a pretty decent horror movie. You guys actually give it a chance. It does have Adam West in it and Meg Tilly, which I think is pretty cool. I love Meg Tilly from Psycho 2. And then that's One Dark Night. I finally got this on Blu-ray. I've enjoyed it. I had a DVD copy, and I really enjoyed it. So, really, I mean, it's not a crazy, drawn-out, bloody, scary slasher, obviously being PG, but One Dark Night, I think you guys would enjoy it. It's one of them movies where they kind of go into a mausoleum type thing, and they kind of get stuck in there, and then a lot of crazy things happen. So, it's been a little while since I watched it. Next up, I really got this because one of my favorite people are in it, and that is Tom Savini. This was not really a great movie, but it was kind of a fun movie, and I think it had a charm to it. If you ask Tom Savini about this movie, he's going to be like, why in the crap did you watch that crap? And that is The Ripper. Kind of interesting movie. You know, it has something to do with Jack the Ripper. Obviously, there's a ring, and like, you know, this guy's wearing it, and it starts making him kill people, and then, you know, he becomes Tom Savini or something like that. It's really kind of a wonky story, but, you know, I thought it was a really neat slasher, and just seeing Tom Savini act. Tom Savini is actually a pretty good actor when you actually watch him. He may have phoned this one in, but I feel like Tom Savini does a pretty good job whenever he is acting. And I don't know, The Ripper. I'm kind of glad to have it in my collection, just to have him in a movie. I have another movie that he is in, and then it was terrible. Like, if he thinks that one's bad, I can't imagine what he thinks about this other one. I can't remember off the top of my head what it was, but he was the slasher killer in it as well. But it's slipping in my brain right now. And this one gave me a lot of trouble because I couldn't find it for a decent price, but this is one of those slashers that you just have to have in your collection, especially on Blu-ray, and that is Slaughter High. I love this movie. I'm so glad to finally upgrade it to Blu-ray, and sure, it's probably going to go to 4K now, but that's fine. At least I have it on a Blu-ray, and then I'm happy with that. If I get a 4K, awesome. But if you guys have not seen Slaughter High, I highly recommend this movie. It's such a great movie, and the Jester costume is legit. I absolutely love Slaughter High. All right, and you know, since we're talking about Tom Savini, I went ahead and got this because I got it on sale for $2, and that is Smoke and Mirrors, the story of Tom Savini. So this is a documentary about Tom Savini's life. Really started when he was a little kid, and you know, showed him how he grew up and like all the theater and stuff he's done, all the movies he's done, and you know, he's really just a really interesting guy, and I can't wait to meet him. I know I've heard good stories and I've heard bad stories about meeting him, but I'm hoping to meet him someday. Tom Savini, what a guy. Definitely check this out if you. I recommend it. It was on Shudder at one point. I don't think it is anymore. All right, and this one is actually just about to get a 4K release, and I'm probably going to buy that one too, so you'll probably see this on one of my next horror hauls, and that's Eli Roth, Thanksgiving. I absolutely love this movie. I cannot wait for the sequel, and I'm even excited for the 4K edition that's coming out. It looks like kind of a big special edition, so stoked about that, but honestly, just having this is good for me, but even though I will be upgrading because I love this movie. Thanksgiving, I think, was just a gem that I was super happy to see finally come out, and now we have another great Thanksgiving slasher, and I think this one's going to even get better as we go forward. How many Thanksgiving movies do you think we're going to get out of this franchise? Are we just going to get 1 and 2? Do you think we're going to make a trilogy? How far do you think we're going to go? I'm interested to see. We'll have to wait and see how the next one does. All right, you guys, and so this is the last horror title that I got, and this one I completely was asleep on. This movie came out, and I was working at the video store way back in the day. I saw it come out. I just wasn't really interested, mostly because I hadn't seen the original one of these movies just yet, and so I really wanted to hold off, and now it's 2024, and I just watched it for the first time, and I absolutely fell in love, and Angelina was like, you missed out hard. But now I have it, and now I can watch it as many times as I want, and I believe this was 2010, and that's The Werewolf, and The Wolfman, and that's got the Benicio del Toro and Anthony Hopkins, that version. I love this movie, you guys. I was stunned when I watched it. I loved how good it looked. I loved how great the werewolves looked and how they were kind of freaking jacked and stuff like that. And at the end, there's a freaking fight between two werewolves, and it was just really great. There was some good gore in here. I was blown away by how great this movie was and wished I had not slept on it as long as I have. But that's The Wolfman, I believe, from 2010. Yes, the one with Benicio del Toro and Anthony Hopkins. Phenomenal. And this one comes with the unrated director's cut. So it looks like I'm going to be watching that again just to see if it's any better. Alright, you guys, so for you guys that just want to stick around for the horror, you guys, that's going to do it for me. Horror Junkies 509 signing out with you guys just for now. Make sure you guys hit me back and check out my other content. You guys have a killer day. But anyway, for those of you guys that are going to stick around with me, like I said, I've been trying to catch up my Sylvester Stallone Blu-ray collection. And so this is all Sylvester Stallone titles. And so bear with me if you guys are sticking around. And if you guys didn't, that's cool too. At least you guys came to visit. First up is going to be Expendables 4. If you guys have seen it, it's not very good. I'll be honest with you. I didn't really care for it. The way they kind of did the whole story, I thought was kind of not interesting, and I didn't really like it that much because I'm not going to spoil it since this is a newer title, but the whole storyline with Sylvester Stallone was complete. Not for me. Yeah, maybe it's because I'm just a big fan of Sylvester Stallone, but it is what it is, and that's why it's here, I guess. But not my favorite, but still had to be a part of the collection. Expendables 4. Alright, guys, and so I've been able to catch up on some of his older titles. I had to go ahead and get Nighthawks. I absolutely love this movie. He's pretty much like a cop, and then he's trying to track down this crazy bomb threat criminal. He's just blowing places up all the time, and then, yeah, it's a pretty good movie. I really enjoy this one. I don't know if you can see him. He's got a beard in it. So he's kind of like almost like 70s disco guy in this movie. But, you know, it's probably the 80s. But Nighthawks, I really enjoy that movie. Then we got a real young Sylvester Stallone in this one. And this one is Paradise Alley. He's kind of like the mouth of these three brothers. And he gets this brother into the wrestling ring so they can start making money. And then he's like, I'll be your promoter. But then this guy on this side ends up being the promoter, and he kind of gets really money hungry and stuff like that, and kind of tears the brothers apart. But, you know, in the end, they do come back together. Paradise Alley is a phenomenal movie. It is a little bit of a slow burn, but it really is a character builder, and you get to see these guys struggle. You get to see them prevail. You get to see a lot of stuff. And Sylvester Stallone actually sings the Paradise Alley song in the beginning, and it really cracks me up because he's not much of a singer. But you know what? I applaud his effort, and I just love it anyway because it's Sylvester Stallone. Yes, I can't help it. All right, you guys, and so this one is not a real legit release, but I was upset that this doesn't have a real release, and I think it should. And that is the Samaritan. This is one of his more recent releases. It was on Amazon Prime, and they are not going to release it, so I was able to find someone on eBay who would make me one, and that's what I did. So this isn't real, but at least a placeholder in my collection for this movie, and it sounds like we might get a sequel. Don't know yet, but we'll wait and see. He's like an old, dilapidating superhero, but he still has all his super strength and stuff like that, and he kind of gets rediscovered by this little kid and stuff like that, and the kid's getting in trouble, so Sly's got to go protect him. I really enjoyed this movie. I highly recommend that one. One of my favorite comedies that Sylvester Stallone was in the back of the day. Everyone talks about this being Sly's worst movie, and this is one of the movies that Sly regrets. This was a movie that I guess Schwarzenegger was like, oh man, I'm going for that movie. I really want to do it. But he was saying that so Stallone would do it, and it's Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. This is an absolutely adorable little cop movie where Stallone's a cop, and then his mom comes to visit and just gets herself all tangled up in a whole bunch of different reasons. And so he pretty much has to take her to work. She ends up with a gun, and he's like, stop or my mom will shoot. And she kind of helps him figure out the case that they're on and stuff like that. It's just adorable. It's funny. Don't take it too seriously, you guys. It is just it's an absolute blast. Alright, guys, last but not least, I've been watching the new season of this, and I absolutely love it. I love the first season, so I really had to go ahead and get season 1 of Tulsa King, Sylvester Stallone's current show that he is doing. Hopefully, we're going to still see him in some new movies coming up, but Tulsa King is phenomenal. I absolutely love it. Season 1 is great. It's a great character starter, and then you kind of get to see what's going on, and then season 2, you know, it's really just kind of kicking up the action and, you know, the things that are happening. I just love it. Anything Sylvester Stallone's in, I really love. I don't have too many things I don't like. I have a few things that I'm like, yeah, about, but for the most part, if it's Stallone's in it, I'm getting it. And so Tulsa King's one of them. All right, you guys, so that's going to do it for this horror haul slash Sylvester Stallone haul, I guess. Remember, this is horror haul number 44. That's going to do it for me. Horror Junkies 509 signing out just until next time, and you guys already know it. I've been sentenced to life. I am a horror lifer. You guys, stay bloody, have a killer day, and keep spooky season in your heart all year round, because I know I do. Until next time, junkies.